And if we're not out there, if the future does not include being out there among the stars and being a multi-planet species, I find that it's incredibly depressing if that's not the future that we're going to have.
October 2001. A group of non-profit Mars Society members is on a plane from Los Angeles to Moscow. Among them is 30-year-old Elon Musk. The group hopes to buy refurbished intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBMs for short, to send greenhouse payloads to space. In a few hours, they are to meet company representatives from NPO, Lavochkin and Kosmotras. The plane lands and they feel the cold Moscow breeze as they exit the plane. The following couple of days, Musk will spend negotiating with the Russian ICBM company representatives. However, he finds it hard to strike a deal with the Russian side. Moreover, he is seen as a novice and is even spat on by one of the Russian chief designers. The group returns home empty-handed. February 2002, the group returns to Russia in hopes of buying 3 ICBMs. They have another meeting with Kosmotras and are offered 1 rocket for $8 million. The price is 50% higher than what Musk expected, and he turns the offer down. Upon returning home, once again empty-handed, Musk decides to start a company that could build its own rockets at an affordable price. In May 2002, with $100 million of his fortune from PayPal's sale, Elon Musk founded the Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, traded as SpaceX. Musk's strategy was to vertically integrate the company, meaning most of the parts would be manufactured by the company itself, thus avoiding overhead costs of buying the parts from third-party suppliers. This would need an immense initial investment, but later on would allow SpaceX to make rockets for a cheaper price. Aside from this, Musk had his grand vision for SpaceX: rocket reusability, that is to be able to send a ship out to space with payload, re-enter, land back on Earth, and within a couple of hours be ready for the next flight. You see, a single NASA launch costs somewhere from $80 to $100 million. Around 200,000 of that is the cost of fuel per mission, and the rest goes to manufacturing the rocket. Yet the rockets are disposed after each mission. So, if SpaceX could figure out a way to land the rockets back on Earth after the missions, it would cut the cost drastically. If it could engineer the rockets to have a lifespan of 100 launches, then the price would fall well under $1 million per launch. Falcon 1, SpaceX's first orbital launch vehicle, is developed in 2005. The first launch takes place in 2006 and fails just 33 seconds after liftoff. The second flight takes place in 2007. This time the rocket engines shut down prematurely and the rocket fails to reach orbit. In 2008, the third launch of SpaceX's Falcon ends in a disaster when 2 of the rocket stages separate and collide, sending the craft into an uncontrollable spin, with it sending the hopes of success close to zero. This crash almost killed SpaceX. It is said that Musk was reportedly waking from nightmares, screaming, and was in physical pain.
When you had that third failure in a row, did you think, I need to pack this in?
Never.
Why not?
I don't ever give up.
SpaceX is out of money. Almost all of the initial $100 million investment is gone on 3 failed attempts. Following the 3 prior failures, the SpaceX team assembles the 4th rocket using available parts in 6 weeks as a last chance for the company. A Boeing C-17 Globemaster III is chartered to quickly deliver the rocket, but along the way, the rocket partially implodes and has to undergo emergency repairs to be saved. September 28th, 2008.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We're in stage
We have
1.
liftoff indication. We have liftoff. SpaceX Falcon 1 launch vehicle. Falcon has cleared the tower.
On September 28, 2008, SpaceX successfully launches the Falcon rocket on the fourth attempt, delivering a 165-kilogram dummy payload into low Earth orbit. This was Falcon 1's first successful launch and the first successful orbital launch of any privately funded and developed carrier rocket. Things turned around after the fourth launch was successful. NASA awarded the first commercial resupply services contract to SpaceX in December. This contract saved the company. Falcon 1 was soon retired after its second successful and fifth total launch in July 2009. This allowed SpaceX to focus company resources on the development of larger orbital rockets, the Falcon 9 and the Dragon, reusable heavier lift vehicles. The development of the Falcon 9 was accelerated by NASA, which committed to purchasing several commercial flights if specific capabilities were demonstrated. The overall contract award was $278 million. In early 2012, approximately 2/3 of SpaceX's stock was owned by Musk, and his 70 million shares were then estimated to be worth $875 million on private markets, valuing SpaceX at $1.3 billion. In May 2012, with the Dragon C2 Plus launch, Dragon became the first commercial spacecraft to deliver cargo to the International Space Station. After the flight, the company's private equity valuation nearly doubled to $2.4 billion, or $20 per share. In September 2014, NASA chose SpaceX and Boeing as the two companies that would be funded to develop systems to transport US crews to and from the ISS. SpaceX won $2.6 billion to complete and certify its spaceship by the year 2017. That year, SpaceX won 9 contracts out of the 20 that were openly competed worldwide. Arianespace, the world's leading satellite launch provider headquartered in France, requested that European governments provide additional subsidies to face the competition from SpaceX. Beginning in 2014, SpaceX capabilities and pricing also began to affect the market for the launch of US military payloads, which for nearly a decade was dominated by the large US launch provider Unite's Launch Alliance. In January 2015, SpaceX raised $1 billion in funding from Google and Fidelity in exchange for 8% of the company's stock, establishing the company valuation at approximately $12 billion. In December 2015, SpaceX first achieved a successful landing and recovery of a first-stage Falcon 9. Today, SpaceX has a market capitalization of $74 billion, has over 9,500 employees, and over $2 billion in annual revenue. It utilizes a high degree of vertical integration. However, SpaceX still has over 3,000 suppliers, with some 1,100 of those delivering to SpaceX nearly weekly. It currently operates 3 orbital launch sites and a 4th is under construction. The company represents over $12 billion under contract for commercial resupply services, gateway logistics services, space crew transportation services, including supply contracts from NASA for the International Space Station, and contracts from the US military and Air Force. And it aims to create a reusable transportation system between Earth and Mars and eventually colonize Mars, making us, humans, multiplanetary species. Thank you guys for watching. If you have enjoyed the content and would like to support our shiny new channel, please make sure to tap on the thumbs up button below and subscribe for more videos like this. You can also write down in the comments section which topics you would like to be covered in our future videos.